Friends, coming to you today from Hurricane Ridge in Olympic National Park. This is the first day the ridge area has been opened since the fire that destroyed the Hurricane Ridge Lodge that is right down in front of us there. And we rode the Clallam Transit bus up. 7 trips a day they're taking up from Port Angeles. And we are here to observe the beauty of the ridge and to see what's happening. Those 2 chimneys that are standing on the left there behind the fence, that's basically all that's left of the lodge. Again, there's what remnants you can see, twisted metal of the roof, chimneys, lots of dumpsters to remove debris. So really nothing to look at as far as the lodge goes. But we're here in a wonderful place and going to take a hike today down from Hurricane Hill, which is a couple miles that way, and head down to the Elwha River and Highway 101. I should be able to get a decent view here, maybe. Okay, here we go. All right, through there is the remains of the Hurricane Ridge Lodge, built in 1952, burned down May 7th, 2023. This is the Hurricane Hill trailhead. We've walked 2 miles. And now we'll be going up a substantial elevation increase, and then we will, right before the top of Hurricane Hill, we'll veer off into the meadow to the left, to west, and head on the Hurricane Hill Elwha Trail. We are at the Hurricane Hill Elwha Trail. The top is right up there. There's probably 3 dozen people up there, so we're not going to go to the top. We're going to get on with it and head on down. And the vegetation changing a little bit as we start to drop down. There's a pointed peak down in the middle there, and that's Mount Storm King. That, however, is not the peak that you see all of the climbers go up to, most of them. That's the ones above the Lake Crescent Lodge that people climb up to. It's a false summit. The true summit of Mount Storm King is back about a mile to the east and is substantially higher than the one that most people climb. And we have more people here. And across the Strait of Juan de Fuca in the fog is Souk on Vancouver Island in British Columbia. So we came up on the bus at the 8:15 bus. We had to wait at the entrance station maybe about less than 5 minutes while the driver coordinated with the park ranger to shut down the opposite lane so we could pass the line in the bus and come up here. But I would not recommend driving to get up to Hurricane Ridge the way even the traffic was on the first day, because it's going to be worse on the weekends and worse as the summer goes on. So I would take that shuttle bus. You're going to be able to get up there easier. And the parking lot was already full. It had opened at 7, which was an hour before the bus left downtown Port Angeles, but the parking lot was full. That whole first section from the Obstruction Point Road to the first little turn is cordoned off as a large vehicle turnaround, and that's where the bus dropped off people. And of course there's no parking down from where the lodge remains are to the west, so the parking area is very limited. I think they said they were going to limit it to 300 and some cars per day, and it had to be way more than half of that already at the 9 o'clock hour when we were up there at Hurricane Ridge. So if you're going to plan a trip this year, I would take that bus. And I think we're now to the point now where we're real close to where I turned around the one time I came down here on this trail. So it'll be new country for me all the way down to the Elwha Road. This is not exactly perfect footing. There's a lot of roots, a lot of drop-offs. You got to really pay attention to what you're doing on this trail. And I'm going pretty slow. I'm not going even half speed right now. Trying to be careful. Yeah, I think this is about it of where I've gone. I can remember getting down to a clump of trees down in here and turning around, because there was still some... I came up here one summer and it was still really some snow patches that were in a steep section, and I didn't want to try, so I didn't come down here. And then again, as I said, I couldn't travel this last year at the time I wanted to, because they were doing the goat extermination operation. Nice view. And behind us, yeah, we've seen what, 5-6 people since we left the main trail, but I think we're pretty much not going to see anybody else here after a while. So I didn't get any impression that there was anyone on the bus that was going to be doing a long distance hike. And kudos to Clallam Transit and the National Park Service and everybody that was involved in getting the ridge open so quickly after that fire. Clallam Transit was just on the ball and ready today. When the buses came in, they actually had a second bus that came down, and they were ready for more people than actually boarded that first bus today. So great job, Clallam Transit, of getting that set up. And they're going to be doing 7 trips a day up to Hurricane Ridge. And on a more personal note, the ride up was much better for me today, because I took some Dramamine. The last time I took the bus up last summer, I almost got car sick on the way, and took the original Dramamine formula this morning about a half hour before the bus trip, and I felt okay. I didn't get any nausea, so that was very welcome. This is steepening up quite a bit. This is one of those sections you're glad you've got your hiking poles with you. Oh, this is just a little bit steep off the side here to the left. Looking down below there. So right down below there, that's Cat Creek, and it is right where it intersects with Wolf Creek. That was the south end of the old Lake Mills on the Elwha River that was created by the Glines Canyon Dam. And the story goes about why Wolf Creek and Cat Creek got their name is members of the press expedition back in 1890, when they arrived at that particular area right there that we're looking down at, Cat Creek and Wolf Creek, it's a very small area. You know, the creek mouths are probably separated by a couple hundred yards. And so they shot a wolf at Wolf Creek, which is on this side of the river, and they shot a cougar on the west side there where Cat Creek is. That's how Cat Creek and Wolf Creek got their names. This is just below the edge of the ridge as we're traversing westward. So I expect to see a marmot or two. I wouldn't be surprised to see a bear. And I wouldn't be surprised to see another human either. We may not be west of all of the hikers that came up from Hurricane Ridge today. Yeah, the Hurricane Hill lot was full. The overflow lot was being used. They had about, I don't know, a dozen Santa cans at Hurricane Ridge. There were no permanent type restroom facilities, but my God, how could they get that ready in such a short time? It hasn't even been 2 months yet since the lodge burned down. So I think they did a great job of getting everything ready. The old lodge site was cordoned off with fence, and it's perfectly safe to come up here. I just changed camera batteries, and we're on the west flank of Hurricane Hill heading down to the Elwha River. And straight up that valley is Boulder Peak. That is Happy Lake Ridge. And straight ahead is Mount Storm King, the pointed one right through there, just above the trees. So we'll give you a little taste of this area, then we might shut the camera down and not burn so much battery. This is very steep. Steep enough to be concerning about a slip and a fall here. All right, much better. I stopped and had a break, knocked down a couple little packages of trail mix, had like 28 ounces of water with a couple of hydration tablets in it. So I'm feeling good. and continuing to the west here. We alternate from going to from the north side of the ridge to the south side. Oh, would this be a good place to run into a bear? There's just plenty of nice bear munchies on this trail right here. Let's turn around and get a view behind us. Well, if I had my compass, I could use the inclinometer on it to tell you how steep this slope is, but I don't have it with me. The Elwha River is right down below us, down there, and Cat Creek comes in. Pretty cool place, and we're the only people on it right now. Oh, that's a cool little meadow right down there. Getting a little bit of a wind now that we're getting more out in the open, and we're also getting real close to the Elwha too. That is the Elwha right down below, and the reason why there's such a wide sandy beach like there is that was the bed of Lake Mills, so there's still a lot of sand down there where there's no vegetation. So yeah, right down there, a little creek comes out there. That is where, I think that's Boulder Creek. So that is or the little campsite we had in one of our other videos. And we get grass obscuring the trail, so we got to watch for the holes. Okay, switchbacks. And this is what I've been expecting for a while. I can see that if the grass got any higher, that would be difficult to make your way through here. And actually navigate the trail. And I know that the trail is right down there, but don't cut switchbacks because it just ruins the terrain. Okay, here's another one. We'll go back the other way. Yeah, it looks like it just keeps angling down to that spot up ahead. If you're going to go down a real steep trail like this, make sure that you trim up your toenails before you go. Last year when I did the hike down the Wolf Creek Trail, it ended up getting a bloody toenail, and it's just finally now, after all this time, grown all the way out. So make sure you trim yourself up before you go on one of these, because your boots end up, your toes are crammed into your toe when you're going on these really steep slopes. Yeah, we're dropping off here now. We can't see. Oh, a pair of butterflies just flew by. I don't think you could see that, but so once we leave this alpine terrain, we'll drop down into the trees and it'll be completely different. We won't have any sort of a view at all when we're going down through that part. I know that part of the trail has been serviced in that lower area, but not all of it. They say in trip reports that there are still a few blowdowns to navigate through. Well, that means climbing over or under, and I think it's more like you have to crawl under, which is fine. We'll make it through there, no problem. Yeah, it looks like the trail goes right up next to where those outcroppings are. Yeah, this is interesting. A little natural draw right here. Almost looks like there's a road right there, but there has not been. Yeah, makes you wonder if this is really the way. Yeah, I didn't see anything that would give me the impression that the trail goes down here. Oh, but it does. You see the zigs down there? Yeah. Interesting. So where exactly does this cross? Maybe right here. Now I understand the dilemma that people talk about, that it's hard to figure out where the trail is along here. Ooh. I'm going to go right down here because I see something up ahead here about 20 or 30 yards that looks like it could be trail. Ooh, bear dung right there. Interesting. They've been up here. One was kind of dry. This looks like it's been traveled on right here. All right, finally, that's where it came from. And we came down from there when we were originally up on the other side of those rocks. And now you can see how it zigzags down. We'll be in the trees here pretty shortly. All right, it's about 2:24 in the afternoon now. Been hiking 4 hours and 32 minutes. I've gone 6.34 miles. We found a water spot on the trail, a little stream crossed the trail, back about 15 minutes ago. So I filled up my bottle, used the SteriPen to sterilize it, and put some hydration tablets in that bottle, an Nalgene bottle, a quart one. Had some of that. Had some more trail mix. So I'm feeling pretty good. The quads were starting to hurt a bit, but now that the level is not quite so severe as it was up higher, it's not quite so bad. So we're angling down towards the Whiskey Bend Road. It's actually down the hill right now, but we're going to meet it at the trailhead right near the old horse camp. So let me get that back in my pocket. So as this gets brushier, I have to go a little bit slower to make sure I don't step in any hole. You can see how the underbrush is a little bit more severe now, or a little heavier, as we drop down into the lowland forest. There's a couple of places where I had to, well, just one. I had to crawl under 2 trees. Not that bad. There was moss on the ground, so it wasn't like I had to wallow around in the mud or anything. And I had to slide under sideways to get through there. It wasn't that bad. They're big old firs. I don't have any estimate on time of how much longer it's going to take to get down to the road. It's still a ways. All right, continuing down this trail. It was really steep back where I just came from, and amazingly steep actually. Curving around boulders. You can hear maybe that there's a stream directly ahead. I think we're real close to the Devil's Backbone, which is that steep part of the Whiskey Bend Road right near the Glines Canyon Dam, or the former dam anyway. That boulder tipped. There. All right. Made it across that without incident. And where am I? All right, well, we got a ways to go. According to my app here, we're almost on 5 hours since I left the visitor center up at Hurricane Ridge, or the former one anyway. My altitude now is 1,782 feet. Hurricane Ridge Visitor Center was at 5,240 in elevation. So I'm thinking we're about in the last mile of this trail. We've still got a ways to go down, and we've still got a ways to go to the northwest to get where we're going. Well, nobody says this trail is easy, and they're right about that. Look at all these down trees. Fortunately, they're way up off the trail. Those are monsters. You can look up there, see the root ball on this one? Jeez. Rocks. Well, if you had to sit, if it were pouring down rain, you could do it there. So now I'm in an area where it looks like that they've done some trail maintenance, and I do remember seeing a post that was done down here at the lower end of this trail. Thank heaven, because that was getting really tedious of trying to figure out where I was going and not walking into a hole. Thanks to the Washington Trails Association and Backcountry Horsemen and the Washington Conservation Corps, all those crews that do trail work, thank you very much. It's appreciated. Okay, I stopped for a little rest break there. Took the rest of the bottle of electrolytes. 1,191 feet according to the altimeter on the app, and probably within about 1,500 feet as the crow flies from the trailhead down below here. So I am getting closer. I'm getting pooped. This has been a beast of a trail. My legs are feeling it. But the good thing is, this trail does not have any brush on it now, thanks to those folks that brushed this out last fall. And I'm not going to have that much trouble getting down. My feet are sore. My quads are sore. And I can't wait to get down to the road so it's easier walking. And that won't be very long. It's got to be less than, I'm thinking it might even be a half an hour. All right, I am arriving at the trailhead just off of Whiskey Bend Road. And it couldn't come a moment too soon. I am tired. Hurricane Hill, 6.1 miles. Good grief. And it was not easy. Some navigational challenges on that thing. It was just really steep. And I'm glad to be down to the road here. I'm sore. Okay, so I've got about 2 miles to go back to, maybe 2.5, back to the Madison Falls gate, and then another 2 out to the highway. So I got about 4.5 miles left to walk, but it's going to be a lot easier coming down off of that trail, which was not easy. And I know I may be repeating myself here because I'm pooped. All right, getting to the old Elwha Ranger Station on Olympic Hot Springs Road, and it sure feels good to be walking on pavement after going down that 6-mile trail from Hurricane Hill. There was one section down toward the end that was fairly well maintained. For the most part, though, it was an uneven surface and very steep, and so it was very tiring for the feet, for the quadriceps. And I'm drinking some water out of my hydration pack right now. So I've got probably about an hour left to walk to get out to the highway where I'll catch the bus back into Port Angeles. Elwha Ranger Station. Encampment. Haven't seen anybody down here yet. Saw a deer from a distance back there by the old horse pen, but it left before I got close. All right, entering the Elwha Bypass Trail area. The warning sign says, "Hello, pack mule trains regularly travel the bypass trail to Whiskey Bend Trailhead Monday through Friday. For everyone's safety, please walk bicycles, keep pets leashed and under control, give the mules and their handlers plenty of space. Thanks. Enjoy your trip." Quite a contrast in landscapes today. Alpine meadows, montane forest, lowland forest. Now down here at the Elwha River. Just now coming out of the bypass. Ouch. Yeah. I haven't seen anybody down here today on the Elwha. Everybody must be doing the Hurricane Ridge thing today. We did too, but we took the road less traveled getting down here. 6.1 miles down that Hurricane Hill Elwha Trail. Another couple miles from Hurricane Ridge to Hurricane Hill. Climbed that baby. That took a while. And now we got a couple of miles until we get to the Madison Falls Trailhead, at least from back there at the ranger station. How we doing? Road go. Surprise, surprise, you're going to have to push those bikes through the bypass. Not going to be easy with those packs on and pushing the bike at the same time. But they're young. They're not a geezer like me. here at the Madison Falls trailhead, and now we got 2 more miles to go out to the highway. Should be no problem to get out there. The next bus is at 6:13 and it's now 5:54, so that's like an hour and 20 minutes. All I gotta do is just walk at a nice comfortable pace, keep drinking water, and get there. Okay, the stop sign ahead is Highway 101. We've reached our destination and the bus is probably about 25 minutes off, that's good. I didn't have to exert any more energy than I had to hurrying. So let's get the CalTopo app on here and look at what our readings say. We've been walking since we started at the Hurricane Ridge Visitor Center, or the Day Lodge, the remnants of it that burned down. Hurricane Ridge been closed since May 7th after that fire, but we walked down and have been walking 7 hours and 48 minutes. This GPS on my iPhone says 11.8 miles. I think that is wrong. I think it's more, because repeatedly on the way down when I would check the phone, it wasn't tracking and I'd have to push it and it would draw a straight line from one point to the other, which would skip a lot of the back and forth switchbacks that I did. I'm thinking it's closer to 13 to 14 miles, and we'll tell you, I'll put it up on the screen of how far exactly that was, but almost 8 hours of walking, 12 miles it says here. I think it's more, and we've dropped from 5,240 feet to 240 right here. So the legs are sore. I feel like I've got a blister on my left big toe, and I'm not going to look at that until I get home, because as soon as I take the shoe off, that'll get worse. You can see the cars coming down from the Madison Falls trailhead on the Olympic Hot Springs Road and making their turn onto Highway 101, and we'll be waiting here for the transit bus. You can see all of the equipment right across the road there that is for the replacement of this Elwha River bridge that is on the left. So we'll get ready to jump on the bus here. Thanks for watching, thanks for subscribing, and we've got more hikes coming later on this summer. And until next time, friends, so long, take care.